Welcome to Buried History. In every episode, we'll ask these guys for clues to the genealogy of an American town, bringing you the intimate stories of how luck, misfortune, and bizarre coincidence play an important role in shaping a city. We know where the bodies are buried, and they know where the history is buried. Today on Buried History, I'm in Avalon, California, on the island of Santa Catalina. Just 26 miles from Los Angeles, this beautiful little town is home to about 4,000 local residents. But as you can see, people are bustling all around because over 1 million folks from all over the world visit annually. But how did Avalon become so popular? To answer that question, we'll unearth the legend of a local hermit, sift through the ashes of a devastating fire, and fish for clues of how Avalon becomes a resort destination for some of Hollywood's brightest stars. Avalon has an amazing story, a story that the people visiting and living here may not even know. Where did Avalon get its name?
I do not know.
Because of the oysters.
Because of the oysters.
The makeup company?
Frankie Avalon?
That's right.
Is it an Avalon oyster?
Abalone is what I think you think of that. And that's not an oyster either.
King Arthur?
No, it wasn't King Arthur. It was that other guy.
I'm going to tell you right now where they got the name Avalon. The name Avalon comes from a poem called Idylls of the King, written by Tennyson, where he talks about King Arthur.
Oh, you're right.
Me?
King Arthur?
I was close. I was like halfway there.
You were in the ocean. That's about
That
as
was
close as
the
you
ocean.
were.
That was close enough.
People living here on Avalon know some of the story, but to get the real dirt, you got to know where to dig. How does a lovable hermit, the need for a stiff drink, and a struggling soap and baking soda company come together to shape the history of Avalon? Well, to get those answers, we got to start digging. There are so many great characters that make up the fabric of this island community, and tourists who visit here may not even know they existed. One of those characters is buried right here. Here lies John Brinkley. He was born in Kent, England in 1844 and then dies in 1936. He originally came here to help build roads and infrastructure, and then he moved to a small shack on the outskirts of town and was by all accounts a hermit. The locals gave him the nickname Chicken Johnny because he raised chickens and he bartered eggs and fruit and vegetables with his neighbors. To learn more, I sat down with local historian Michelle Bastudic.
I remember hearing about him and seeing some of the structures up in the canyon. My great-grandparents knew who he was. They believe he was British. He sold eggs to the town, and, you know, it wasn't like he was completely isolated and a scary type person. He just preferred his own company.
Johnny really didn't need much to live. He lived alone, he never married, never cut his hair, never shaved, slept at night in a gunny sack as a sleeping bag. And when people offered to bring electricity to his shack, he refused. He preferred the light of a coal oil lamp. There's an article from a 1916 newspaper where he's quoted, and this quote gives you an idea what kind of character Johnny was. He says, "I never was no town bird. A man don't live in town, he just stays there. And most people get on my nerves." While many people may have gotten on his nerves, he never turned his back on anybody. I met with 97-year-old Avalon native Bill Hill to hear how Chicken Johnny's generosity helped raise money to buy a bell for the church.
Chicken Johnny furnished the watermelon for the picnic. That watermelon sale was set up to raise money for the church. He was very well liked.
During World War I, times were hard all over the country, so you can just imagine how tough life was on an island cut off from the mainland. Chicken Johnny may have been a recluse, but he was very generous with his neighbors. So when people were hungry, he shared what he had. He shared chickens and eggs and fruit, and people got by.